A bill being introduced by state Republicans would guarantee admission to the University of Wisconsin system, but only for high school students ranking in the top 5% of their class.
And this includes UW-Madison, which traditionally has been highly selective, accepting less than half of new freshman applicants. New at 4, following a news conference on the bill, Jason Zimmerman explains why some Democrats are opposed.
A debate over the criteria for potential students to be accepted within the University of Wisconsin system is now before state lawmakers.
Our goal is to capture more students of our best and brightest to not only go to school here in Wisconsin, but make Wisconsin their long-term home.
Representative Jerry O'Connor is among the authors of a Republican bill which would require the UW system to accept any applicant finishing within the top 5% of their high school. Other lawmakers see they're acting on behalf of their constituents.
These are students that have worked very, very hard over the years to achieve the status that they have obtained, and they need to be rewarded for that. As mentioned, I've had families reach out and say, what did we do wrong? What could we do different? And when contacted, we get no information back.
UW-Madison uses a holistic admissions process, taking in a number of different factors when accepting students. Republicans previously pushed for greater transparency, passing a bill vetoed last year by the governor, which would have required counselors to rely only on objective criteria. In that veto, the governor wrote, quote, "I object to the legislature's effort to politicize our campuses and micromanage our higher education institutions," end quote. I did reach out to the university system, and a spokesperson tells me they are reviewing this bill. Reporting in Menasha, Jason Zimmerman, Action 2 News.